Welcome back to more Let's Play Dragon Warrior Monsters. Last time, we took our new team here, or a relatively new team member, Rick, into a new mystic hole that we unlocked through a bunch of breeding, specifically the library mystic hole. This proved to be fairly difficult, as we were a very low level, fighting some fairly high-level enemies. We held our own for a fair bit, but it proved to be quite difficult. So much so that we blew through several of our good items, and we are definitely going to need to restock. Now, I think today we're going to spend it trying to get through the gate again, or the Mystic World. It's not going to be easy, but at least with Rick being level 10, and everyone being slightly closer to some more levels, I think we'll be okay. I at least hope we will. Now, otherwise, for our journey, I do want to pick up some healing items, because goodness did we use them. So let's see here. I want to buy a good few world dues, because frankly, we need them. Let's see. I do have inventory space for some more. So maybe what I'll plan on doing is grabbing a couple more sirloin, like 2 or so, and then maybe 1 more world due. That should be good enough. Let's take a look here. Maybe I'll leave the inventory slot open. I think that'll actually be okay. Now, the other problem that occurred is because we're somewhat using Rick, we've been also cascading again, which means we've not been able to stick to a consistent strategy, and that has definitely taken a factor, or been a factor, in us kind of getting destroyed in fighting. Because with no consistent strategy, we have some turns that are really good for damage and really good for healing, others that are extremely lacking and really leave us hindered. It's not great. So, we will save our game. Let's jump right back in. Now, I do know that the end boss of this gate is no pushover. So this is going to be tough, and we're going to want some decent levels going forward. I honestly don't know if I want to stick around and just fight a bunch of things, go back, and then try to clear this. I figure maybe we'll give it a couple floors, see how we do, and if we're just still getting trash, then I might turn the rest of the episode into a farming one. I really don't want to waste time. But I figure maybe I will finish the cascading and then return and we'll try to actually go through this, ideally getting a few levels. That might be the optimal plan. We'll see. Because all I know is that Arc Demon there seriously hurts. He has both Bird Blow and just a lot of damage. So we were definitely struggling with those. But we are doing a little better now that Rick has some levels under his belt. It's a few, and we kind of need a lot. The other thing that really doesn't help is that without King, we don't have any big damage. We have mediocre damage at best, and that's just not really good enough. So we'll see how a couple fights go, and if I'm feeling confident, we'll keep going. Worst case, I'll Warp Wing out, do some farming, probably here, ironically, and then be back with all the stat changes. So, I mean, so far so good, but with how big some of these floors can be, it gets really difficult to justify remaining here. let's see, Mystical's right up here. And I mean, with how everyone is, 9,000, 16,000, 3,000, yeah. We're getting there. Honestly, if Rain could learn, like, a bigger damaging move, that would seriously help. That's kind of what I'm hoping for and banking on, even though I kind of know better and know that it takes a lot longer for those to be learned. Still, you never know. I mean, I should know, because I have the list of when monsters learn things, but who am I to be blamed for forgetting over 200 monsters worth of info? Ironically, a lot of people know Pokemon move lists really well. Still, I figure, let's show off the Sage Stone. As you can see, it basically acts like an infinite World Dew. Not infinite, but a reusable one. I don't remember if it runs out of charges or uses. I don't think I've really ever used them before. I would imagine they do, just because, obviously, they sell more than one. But to be fair, the Beast Tail had infinite use, so maybe. I guess we'll have to see. I do think the heal on it is a little weaker than something like Heal More. Might be like a basic heal, but we'll have to see. This is a great opportunity to try it out. As Toto and Rick are hurt. And heals. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. About 50, 60. So it's probably equivalent to about Hustle, is my guess. Might be wrong on that, but still, as a free thing that can be repeated, it's not bad. Now, what is bad is the fact that while using this item, we're not continuing to work on our monster's personalities. So it comes with that drawback, but once you have everyone at Hot Blood or the desired personality, it's really a non-issue. Now, I think it can only be used... Oh yeah, it even says right there, 60 to 70 HP for everyone. Which, unfortunately, you can't use it outside of combat. I believe that's where the big caveat comes in. Is although, I think it is infinite. Again, we'll see that eventually and be proven right or wrong on that. But regardless, it's only usable in combat, and that does limit its use, unfortunately. Still, basically having a free multi-love water is pretty good. Even if you get, say, 2-3 uses out of it, and then it breaks, if it does, because again, I just don't remember, then that's still pretty good. I mean, decent bang for your buck, especially if you get it for free. You know, I say if it breaks, I guess you just look it up. It's one of the few items I just never use. I don't know why. Probably because I just forget about it. Let's see. Keep on cascading in the meanwhile. Look down the list of all the items. Thank goodness for people who make guides. It looks like the Sage Stone doesn't break, as far as I know. I know in the mainline games it doesn't. That's what makes them very coveted. So, I'm just going to assume they don't. Call it good. Keep on rolling with it. So that will help. That's also why I figure having the World Dews will be just as helpful, because we can use the Sage Stone for a little healing where needed once we have our personality set. And then if we need just a big full team heal, that's when we can whip out the World Dews. But it goes to show just how versatile and actually useful you as the tamer are in the wild. Terry has a lot that he can do, from recruiting monsters, to using staves to deal effects or damage, or even, obviously, using healing items or status recovering items. His role is useful. He's not just the ringleader who marches the monsters around. He has purpose. beyond just, doing nothing. And sometimes it is a little hard to remember that. Just because for most of the game, he's kind of not doing much. Other than, you play as him and he walks around. But he's not the one commanding the monsters or having them, directly fight, typically. You can, obviously, but as we've stated before, it's no good if you do that. Better to let them learn on their own and, actually be a trainer and tamer than to just directly call the shots 24/7. So it is nice. I think it's one of the more interesting aspects of this game, especially compared to Pokemon. Not only is every battle possibly a 3v3, but your actual character has a lot more, agency in the fights. At least the ones that, it don't seriously matter. So I like that. It also kind of eliminates the problem of Pokemon in, like, the Elite Four or whatever, where you just spam items to win after getting, like, a status ailment off. Or vice versa. One of the Elite Four members or a gym leader or someone big and bad just abusing items. Speaking of abusing things, this old man, he could warp us through most of the dungeon. That's going to be incredibly risky. So let's go for it! After all, we're fools. Lava Man, Mad Spirit, and Land Owl. Nothing we have not seen before. Let's take them out. Luckily, they will be scaled to our level, thank goodness. We won't earn too much EXP and have plenty of time working on personality. Which I will say, out of all the monsters that we were facing here, I think we got the ones I care about, at least Amberweed I remember getting. Ooh, speaking of getting things I care about, Rick hits level 11, gaining 5 HP, 12 MP, 5 attack, 5 defense, 5 agility, 5 intelligence. Infernos becomes Infirmore. His sleep becomes Sleep All. And he learns Fire Slash. Frankly, I don't think I need him to know Fire Slash. He does have Blaze, Firebane, and Blaze Air. So, I mean, a lot of fire going on. We really don't need a 4th fire ability. So let's see where this sends us. Oh, it sent us straight to the end. I'm not too sure this was a good idea. It might backfire horribly. Ooh. We have a very good opportunity. If we farm here, we can use the priest to revive and be full for the actual coming boss fight. I think that's what this just turned into. Because I would like to clear this, ideally. And if we have a pretty straight shot ticket like this, I want to take it. Now, otherwise, I guess after this fight, I'll show everyone's stats, and then start farming. Maybe just getting a level or 2, and showing highlights, like, say, if Raid learns something super important, or it gets a skill to change into something useful. I mean, as of right now, we're surviving. Maybe not super well with Rick being at a whole 22 HP, but we're not doing terrible. And plus, we have the 2 Archdemon fight, which we know is tough. Oh, there goes Rick. Alright, fair enough. Still, we're doing good. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, maybe if we don't survive the fight, then I might be less inclined to try the boss. this is a good example of where us using Sage Stone will free up Toto and Rain to do as they will, ideally revive Rick, and we should beat the fight. Keyword being should. Worst case, if this happens, Rick doesn't get the EXP. Not the end of the world. I'd much rather survive and move on than not. Rick does not revive. Lucky. Rick does not revive. Unlucky. Rick does not revive. Unlucky. Didn't mean to use it on Toto. Unlucky. Rick does not revive. Welcome to Dragon Quest with Vivify. Rick is revived. Hooray. Yay. Rick, you gotta use some of your MP here, buddy. Because, I'll be honest, everyone is hurting. Go. And then otherwise, fix our Cascade plan. And honestly, didn't have to change much. Let's see here. Toto's close to a level. And Rain and Rick would need about 5, 6 fights, maybe 7, depending on enemy composition. I think that's what I'll do. Is here's everyone's stats right now. I'll get everyone a level, and we'll heal up and try the boss. I think that's the best bet. First, we'll check this chest, though. Well. Ooh, we caught it off guard, though. Okay. Alright. This could be eventful. Now, big problem, Toto does not have a lot of MP. We do have Elf Waters and Potions. Also, Rick, did you just do nothing? Huh. I thought he did something, but maybe I just forgot. Oh, buddy, that blaze is just not what we need. At least the Mimic doesn't do a lot of damage, that's nice. Oh, he might have defended himself. I think that's what I missed. Goodness. Here I am, so busy, talking about everything else that I missed blatant things, I tell you. Though I swear, I have seen turns where one of your party members just straight up does nothing, and I feel like it's a weird scripting error with the game, but I also don't know. Still, 1000 EXP from the Mimic. Very useful. Toto, you have so little MP. Ugh. How much MP do you have? 206? If I stand a chance at grinding, I'm gonna just use an Elf Water, and we'll go from there. Plus, Rick is really close to getting Hot Blood, so it'll work out super well. So I'm gonna start grinding, and I'll see you guys once we've gained 3 levels, or about 1 level for each of our pals here. We'll heal up, and try the boss. Alright, Toto gained his level. His Heal More became Heal All. Very useful. And he has the chance to learn Beat, which frankly, I don't care about. Still, I'm going to be back to farming. I just figured him learning Heal All is going to be very important for the coming fight. Also, let's see. Rick is revived. Oh, we got lucky on that one. Happy day. Anyways, back to farming. Alright, we are mostly back from farming. The only one who actually gained a level was Toto. Unfortunately, he got knocked out. But as I mentioned, he got Heal All, which is very useful. And I frankly don't have a way to revive him right now. So, we're gonna have to fight the priest. Which shouldn't be too bad, because he should have lower level monsters, all things considered. Also, hello, Phoenix and Blizzardy. Unexpected. But the good thing, too, that I did not show, but I forgot, is that Rick is now a Hot Blood. So, we should be able to keep him on whatever we want along with Rain and Toto. Now, I think for the coming fight, I want to open up with um, Rain and Rick both on Mix, and have Toto on Charge. Just because I want Toto to be dealing damage, and I want Rain and Rick to debuff the boss and possibly put it to sleep, ideally, or engulf it in an illusion like so. That, I think, is going to be the key to victory. Obviously, Toto is going to be our main damage, but also our healer where need be, and Rick can probably be set to healing once sleep is achieved, but we will see. So, that is the plan going forward. Now, I do want to still get Rain and Rick their levels, and they're not too far away from them. I figured I want to get Toto alive, just because he is an important piece of the strategy. So let's see, get our order back in line. And then for right now, I think I want everyone to just go charge, or have Rick on Mix, just because he has Sleep Hall, which will be very useful. So otherwise, let's take a look here. Yeah, 2000 EXP. Should be about 2 quick fights. I don't think we should have any trouble, ideally. I know I'm asking for trouble by saying that, but still, fingers crossed. Can we have a fight? There we go. It's so funny, because sometimes you go looking for trouble, and you just can't find it. And other times, you're praying that you'll find nothing, and you find everything but nothing. Which has its perks, admittedly. Darn, the one I wanted to fall asleep did not. Shame. Still, with sleep, we should be able to get through fights pretty easily now. I mean, statuses like sleep are just so gosh darn useful. Now, the Archdemon will still hurt, but we can just spam our Sage Stone now every single turn. Keep up the healing, and take away the need to swap Rain, or Rick, or Toto around on their plans. That's kind of a part of my plan, ultimately, is just have Harry do the healing. It is a dangerous strategy, because Harry can't super keep up with healing as well as, say, a monster could with their magic. But with things like World 2, you can fully heal in a pinch. So it may not be as consistent, it's more limited for sure, but it's still pretty good. And it's going to be my strategy going forward. Trust me, I know it's not foolproof. It might get me burned. But we're still going to give it a try. So this should be the last fight we need. Man, Rick has such little HP, my goodness. It's the only other thing that worries me. I'm hoping he gains a big HP level, along with Rain ideally getting a slightly better damaging skill. But we will see. Toto's Zap isn't terrible, but it's also not dealing, you know, a couple hundred damage like King used to. That's the only concern. Yeah, as you can see, the Sage Stone is just abusive. It is so darn good. It's also why they don't allow items in tournaments, otherwise I'm sure every master would just be spamming Sage Stone the entire fight. But as you can see, most fights are going pretty well. It's only really the fight the double Archdemons that really is dangerous. Just because that fight, in and of itself, has so much possible single target damage that it can obliterate one of our party members. And if we're not careful, that can be Toto, who is the only one who has a revive. So there we go. Rain hits level 18. He gains 3 HP, 3 MP, 8 attack, 8 defense, 8 agility, 8 intelligence. Nothing else, which is a little sad. But Rick hits level 12, gaining 5 HP, 15 MP, 5 attack, 5 defense, 5 agility, 5 intelligence, and his Ice Bolt becomes Snowstorm. Oh, we at least got a little extra ice power. I was going to say firepower, but wouldn't have been correct. So, deep breath, and in we go to the Den of Beasts. Oh boy. Welcome to Orochi's lair. This thing is no fun. And let me tell you, it is extremely difficult. This is easily the hardest thing we've fought thus far. But for making it here before one of the later gates, we'll get unique dialogue. At least I think after the fight. So, hey there. Oh, okay. You know what? Fair enough. Don't know what I expected. But, how's it going? So, I guess for us, let's open with the Mist Staff. Because if it doesn't work, no big deal. If it does, though, we can suspend his spells. Not that I think he really uses them. But we can get a Surround going. Very useful. Rain going for damage instead of status dropping. Interesting. And here's what I was worried about. Scorching. 37 damage, 22, 34. We actually all have pretty good fire resistance. So Scorching is the first problem. We can handle that. The next, we might see sooner than I would like. No sleep, which is fine. Not ideal, but fine. Alright, Scorching we can keep up with. I'm really hoping we just never see the attack I'm actually afraid of. Because if we don't, it would be too soon. But still... Oh, there it is. Okay, the Sage Stone can break. I'm glad we saw that. That's where I was like, I was pretty sure in this game it does. But in most main series Dragon Quests, like say Dragon Quest III, it doesn't break. So yeah, Sage Stone can be pretty good, but it breaks. And that is going to highly limit our usefulness. So let's set... Actually, you know what? Let's set Rain to Mix and Rick to Cautious. Because if Rick can keep up with the healing, that would be good. I figure if Rain can drop defenses and then everyone just starts physically swinging, that would be really ideal. Here's the only problem, is Rick just not healing. Again, Scorching isn't too bad. The problem is the actual move I am afraid of, which targets physical defense. The minute we see that, I have a feeling we're gonna know. That's where with everyone getting so low, I'm gonna use a World 2. I just cannot risk that move coming out and obliterating our whole team. And it might still. Tailwind, good against Scorching, but really nothing else. Still, they got the note for physical attacks, good. Tailwind will reflect the attack. Doesn't do anything, but saves Rain from taking some damage. Let's do Charge, and Cautious. Rick just isn't healing. I might just have to keep Rick on Mix and just focus on healing ourselves with World 2. Really not ideal. But I think that's kind of where we're at. Still, they are doing good damage. I'm just scared for the one move that Orochi can throw. Specifically, I'm going to say it just in case we, by some miracle, don't see it. Orochi knows quad hits. It throws 4 random attacks to the opponents, and let me tell you, they can just destroy you if you aren't prepared. Specifically, if it hits one monster, oh goodness, is that a problem. Now, otherwise, Scorching, we can keep dealing with. I'm a-okay with that. Again, Rain dropping the defense did help. I honestly might just switch Rick to offense, because his sleep's kind of doing nothing. Again, good attempt, but I just kind kind of can't rely on him doing nothing like this for several turns. Now, if he got to sleep, that would be useful. Which, there it is. Very good. So I'll probably take this turn to swap. Ooh, he slept again. Awesome. Whoops, didn't switch. My bad. Oh, and you know what? I think I know why Orochi isn't using quad hits. It's because he was surrounded by the illusion. That would do it. So actually, Rick having surround, seriously, probably won us this fight. Quad hits could have destroyed us. So although it was tough, we earn our 9,000 EXP and some special dialogue.
Oh, I can't stand it. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. I lost. Oh.
Oh. It's that swordsman. Who then defeats Orochi himself. Look, the sword. It's the Kusanagi sword of Orochi. I'm not looking for such a cheap sword. Did we meet somewhere? What? You thanked me for helping you? Ha! Such a naive guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just looking for the most powerful sword. That's all. If you have nothing more to say, I'll go. So yes, we have nothing more to say, or no, we do. So you know what? We do have more to say. Who are you? What? Want to know why I'm looking for the strongest sword? Or that? What difference does it make? Doesn't matter. I'll tell you. Why am I looking for the strongest sword? It's because I want to be powerful. I hate weaklings. I hate losing. So, I need a stronger sword. Nobody should try to stop me, or I'll smash them. I am wasting my time. Gotta get going. Orochi won't be any trouble anymore. At least you should practice with your sword. Interesting.
Oh, you were saved by somebody. Oh well, let's go back.
Sure, Wataboe. Let's do that.
Oh, Terry, you beat Orochi. This means you've already collected 100 monsters? That's my Terry. You're as good as I hope. Collect more types of monsters.
Oh, King?
Terry at ease. It's a good idea to talk to people. You're dismissed. Busy, busy, busy.
Thanks, King. I'd appreciate it. Still, I'm not gonna lie. I was really worried about that fight with our current team, because although I love them, mostly, I mean, Rick's kind of just here, there was the potential that that fight could have gone horribly. But again, because of, I imagine, Surround, which lowers physical accuracy, I think Orochi wasn't using quad hit. And because of that, I think that alone is why we won. Because he also knows Fire Slash, but because it's physical, it could have missed. So I think Surround kinda secured us the victory. I may not be correct in that, but that's my assumption. Now, I should have also mentioned, Orochi cannot be recruited, even if you fight him after that later gate. Now, should you fight Orochi later, he kinda just is beaten and that's it. So, he sits there, Wataboe comes, and that's all there is to it. It's super cool seeing that swordsman again, and it's a scene you may not have gotten if you didn't super focus on getting a bunch of monsters. So, I quite like that. Now, otherwise, I wanted to do a quick run through the well, just to see if we can snag a tiny metal. Because if we can snag a tiny metal, that'll set us up wonderfully for the next episode, being able to take on the Metal Man's Mystical. I'm not really banking on it, and to be honest, if I don't find it in this go-through, I think I'm just gonna run through here on my own time, and once I find the tiny metal, I will simply hit record and start the episode there. I also don't know if we'll gain any levels while running through here, just because things get so little EXP, but you never know. Still, what would be nice is if we get a floor like this, continue on, don't get screwed over by a shop or a save or a priest or whatever, or a unique floor like this, and can find some bards. That's what I was hoping for, but oh well, beggars cannot be choosers. Let's see, I think with this one we want to go down and to the right. I think it's something like this? Yeah! I am surprised I remember that. My goodness. Also, too, there's an interesting thing I don't think I've pointed out. In these special rooms that don't have maps, but you can still have encounters, the battle opening song is different. It's a little extended compared to its normal version, which I think has something to do with the game having more memory to process the sound, because it's not generating a new floor or something. I don't know why it's the case, but it's a neat little detail. Money. I was really hoping that was going to be the tiny metal. I'm sad it's not. Again, beggars cannot be choosers. But especially now that Rick is a hot blood, that is super useful. And to be honest, I really don't plan on keeping Rick around. I figure any extra levels I can get him, I will. But he is certainly not a mainstay party member, though his offspring might be. I've not super considered it, but I will give you a little spoiler. Rick's offspring is going to be one of the Queen's requests. And frankly, most of those monsters are pretty darn good. So, I might keep his offspring around, just because it does have a really good unique skill, and is a really good unique monster that is only breedable by breeding a plant, of all things, with a boss monster. Yeah, you heard that right. We might actually be using a plant that's worthwhile. And trust me, I'm just as surprised as you are. Most of the plants in this game aren't exactly great, but this one is. It's one of the few exceptions that I think is a really phenomenal monster. There are some good plants, I won't deny it. It's just that most of them aren't good. Kind of the same with bugs, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, I don't think Gofacada or Giant Slug or the Stag Bug are really doing much for ya. Now, our Morpion might, that's fair, and Digster, to be fair, if you use that boss, probably did go the mile. They're not terrible. But at the same time, they're just not phenomenal. At least compared to some of the other monsters you can breed. King Leo is pretty unique, all things considered, but he's not great. I think a lot of the dragons are just generally better. The slimes that we've been breeding, like, say, even just King, or the Metal King we have waiting for us, or the one that comes even after that, are significantly more unique than almost any other monster in the game. Even more so than some bosses, if I'm being completely honest. Such as, like, Dracolord, which Dracolord is a fine boss and all that, but it's just not quite great. Its slow leveling coupled with its honestly mediocre stat gains are just not ideal. Its unique skills aren't phenomenal. And I mean, it's cool seeing, you know, the boss of Dragon Quest 1. but it's just not super worth using. Most of the boss monsters, I'm gonna be honest, at least the early ones, like Dracolord 1, just aren't worth using. They're so slow. And I mean, to be fair, we've had Rain, who's the ultimate bird, for such a long time. We've had Toto, who's amongst one of the best undead for a while, and I mean, he's doing phenomenal. I mean, namely, his just high intelligence is insane. So, I mean, you know, it's not bad. It's just not great, especially compared to the things we've had. So that's where I imagine his offspring is going to be a lot more useful, especially because their unique skills are a lot more useful. At least that's the hope. Let's see, 43 gold. Unlucky. Keep on looking. Hello, Mr. Wizard. I actually don't want to fight him, just because I don't want to warp all the floors. I mean, I guess if I wanted a quick ticket out of here, I could, but it's just not worth our time to do that, because we are specifically looking for short floors with lots of goodies. Not that I'm super planning on getting too many items, I just want tiny metal. But, again, as I've said, beggars cannot be choosers. That's why, overall, I'm not entirely dissatisfied with how things have gone and how many tiny metals we have gotten, but admittedly, a lot of them have been found while I've been farming. So, you know. It's one of the more annoying aspects of this game that there's a big completion criteria locked entirely by random number generation. Some of the RNG in this game is brutal, just with floor layouts and just never getting lucky with tiny metals. And I swear once you get the certain threshold, I swear that you find them so much more. It's just something weird. Almost like some sort of the game knowing what you want. Like it has a radar or something. Ah, it's goofy. Ooh, a fighter. Or a warrior. I forget what these guys are actually officially called. But I do want to fight him, just because he might have something cool. I don't need a pork chop. We have sirloin after all. Hey there, Mr. Guy. What you got? Ironically, most of the enemies we've been fighting. Kinda funny. Luckily, they are not going to be nearly as leveled as the ones we're used to, so this fight should be a cinch. But like I was saying before, Rick, although I kinda love you, I love what you do, I don't love you for you. And I apologize for that, buddy. Warpwing and Snowstaff, very nice. But to be fair, it is still really cool being able to show him off and show that, hey, you can get the boss monsters all the way up through, I think, Dragon Quest VI, which is really cool. So, although you can't see the later ones from like 7, 8, you know, all the way through 11, you at least get a lot of them. And to be fair, a lot of the dungeons and Mystic worlds that we've been to through the Mystic Holes are references to other Dragon Quest games. So for someone who's well versed in them, this game is just a treat. You get to see all your favorite monsters, use them, befriend them, make them stronger, grow with them, and revisit some of the most beloved places. Okay, maybe not most beloved, but iconic at the very least. See, this is where we've encountered way too many big floors, and I'm just not about it. So, I think the next time we play Dragon Warrior Monsters, ideally, I'm going to start the episode with me having found a tiny metal, or finding it, or some there combination of it. I'm not really too sure right now myself. And perhaps after we've found said tiny metal, perhaps we'll say goodbye to Rick and welcome back King to our party, or at least his offspring. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not entirely decided on how our team's going to look from here on out. Still, as always, I'm Brett. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.